Should Denmark prepare for a possible military attack by the United States? Well, the president of the European Council considered it necessary to say that the territorial integrity of Denmark is a crucial issue for the European Union. And that was in reaction to what U.S. President Donald Trump has repeatedly said, namely that the U.S. wants control of the Arctic island of Greenland. Now, Trump has refused to exclude the use of force to seize it. If you don't know, Greenland is an autonomous territory that is in the Kingdom of Denmark. Well, Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen received backing from European allies over the issue on visits to Berlin and Paris this week. She's repeatedly said the island is not for sale. The latest survey of Greenlanders shows that 85% do not want to belong to the United States. Well, I'm joined now by Elizabeth Brawl. She's a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council's Scowcroft Center for Strategy and Security, and she can tell us why Donald Trump is not holding all the cards when it comes to Denmark and Greenland. Elizabeth, it's good to have you on the program. So you write that Denmark doesn't have to be a pushover for Donald Trump when it comes to Greenland. So tell us, how can the Danes hit the U.S. not below the waist, but actually directly in the waistline?
In the waistline, you're right. So as your viewers may know, Ozempic is the drug of the moment in the United States, hugely popular weight loss drug. And Ozempic is made by Novo Nordisk, a Danish company that also happens to be Europe's most valuable or second most valuable company, depending on what day of the year you're looking. So Ozempic is a Danish product, and it's one of several products made by Danish companies that are very popular in the United States. Lego is also very popular, and Maersk, the shipping company, supplies the United States with all manner of goods and also transports U.S. exports to other countries. These are Danish companies that are indispensable to the United States daily functioning. If they were not to be available, that would be a problem.
I just want to be clear on this. Ozempic is not produced in the United States. So if Denmark wanted to stop production in Denmark and say no more for the U.S., it could basically turn the supply of Ozempic in the U.S. to zero.
And some components of Ozempic are manufactured in the United States, but not the active component. And without the active components, you don't have the medication that you need to produce. So that gives Denmark considerable leverage. Now, Novo Nordisk has been planning to expand Ozempic manufacturing in the United States, but it's not able to manufacture the entire drug from scratch in the United States, even if it wanted to. Mm-hmm. And that means that if Novo Nordisk were to be told by the Danish government not to ship its products to the United States anymore, then Ozempic would not be available to American users, consumers, patients anymore.
And let's assume that happens. Denmark would not have much trouble finding other markets, other buyers, if Donald Trump decides to put the U.S. supply of Ozempic in jeopardy. And I'm thinking of Germany, for example.
Ozempic is incredibly popular, and we should remember it started out as a diabetes drug, and it's still extremely widely used as a diabetes drug. And on top of that, it's used as a weight loss drug. Denmark or Novo Nordisk would find alternative buyers very quickly. In fact, Ozempic is so popular that there have been shortages, repeated shortages. That's what happens when you make a blockbuster drug. You get demand that far outstrips supply.
Talk to me a little bit about another big segment of the Danish lever or leverage, if you will, the shipping company Maersk.
Maersk is the world's second largest container shipping company. And as I think your viewers know, container shipping is the predominant mode of shipping today. Now, Maersk has a U.S. subsidiary that conducts much of its U.S. business, but it is Maersk itself is a Danish company. The Danish government, if it wanted to, could instruct Maersk not to ship to the United States anymore, and that would be a massive problem because the shipping container industry is always or almost always at capacity, meaning there is no space on other ships. Now, of course, if Maersk and its U.S. subsidiary were to lose the U.S. market, it would not be good for Maersk because the U.S. is a very lucrative market. But this would be an option of last resort for the Danish government that once again illustrates that a country can be small, geographically speaking, and especially population-wise, but it may have companies that fulfill a crucial role around the world, and without which different other countries would struggle to operate.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point there. There's another point, though. Realistically, the Danish army is not going to be able to stop a hostile takeover of Greenland by the United States if that were to happen, right?
Denmark will try every option at its disposal so as to not aggravate Donald Trump or the U.S. government. It's not in Denmark's interest to aggravate anybody, but I think it would be within the realm of the realistic for the Danish government to gently point out how important its companies are to the U.S. economy, and not just to the U.S. economy, to American consumers on a daily basis. And we should remember that it's not just Maersk, it's not just Novo Nordisk, it's also companies like Lego, and lots of American kids would grieve the loss of Legos if they were not to be available anymore. So it would be possible to point that out, to drive home the point that, yes, Denmark is small, but when it comes to consumer products and other important products and services, it is very powerful.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, weapons can come in many forms, not just bombs. That is for sure. Elizabeth Brawl from the Atlantic Council Scowcroft Center for Strategy and Security. Fascinating analysis, Elizabeth. We appreciate your time. Thank you.